What's up? Thanks for watching. Batman is back with a new riff. I got some questions in the recent live streams I've been doing and where I've been wearing my new Batman cap about riff writing and songwriting. And since I've just started to get back into that, I thought I'd share what's been going through my head when writing these riffs. So if you've seen my other videos, you've heard me talk about contrasts and the way I approach, riff construction or songwriting or whatever you want to call it. And to me, that's the most important thing. That's how I start out with contrast, thinking about different contrasts. And I think in this little song, it's obvious there are some contrasts because we have this super aggressive, rhythmic and chuggy riff. And then we have something that's a bit more like chordal sounding and with a bit more of a traditional harmony. So to me, there's a big contrast going on there, and that's actually how I started picturing this song in my head. I wanted something that was really aggressive and hard-hitting. Also because I wanted to, start practicing my rhythm chops again. It's been many years since I even considered that, but now I sort of want to get back into that. So I wanted something that was a bit more challenging, but also something that had a specific sound to it. So basically, what I like about this, contrast way of looking at things is that it gives you framework, but it doesn't tell you exactly what to do. As opposed to the noodling method where you let your fingers sort of dictate where you want to go, and it's all set in stone, and you're sort of, when noodling on the guitar and, you sort of let coincidence dictate whether it's going to be good or not. Whereas I like to, think of it in my head. So, okay, so if I have something rhythmic and start off with that, what could come after that? So maybe if I got chuk-a-choom, chuk-a-chuk-a-choom, chuk-a-chuk-a-choom, then I can da-da-da-da-da-da. There we have a contrast, okay? So you have chuk-a-chuk-a-choom, chuk-a-chuk-a-choom, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, chuk-a-chuk-a-choom. So there's a typical contrast. And I think that's not far away from what I did in this song. I had that kind of chuk-a-choom thing going, and then I wanted something that would work a bit more as a chorus, so I threw in some chords. But let's look at this. This is all taken from the E Phrygian dominant scale, so check that out if you haven't. It's a really cool scale for those evil-sounding riffs, and it's a pretty cool alternative to the kind of riffs where we utilize the flat fifth, Those are awesome as well, but there's a different kind of tonality between that and... So one of them feels a bit more evil. I don't know. It's up to you to decide which one. But either way, here I went for the Phrygian dominant sound. If you want to see exactly what I did here, I can try to zoom in for you. And so forth. But okay, so those are the basic thought process, and we're going to look at how the chorus is being played and what's happening there. But we actually have some kind of bridge in between there, which is this kind of thing. And that kind of thing, if we again go back to the contrast way of looking at things, it falls a little bit in between what I'm doing during the verses, and what I'm doing on the choruses is just... So this thing falls a little bit in between, okay, because it's not as aggressive rhythmically. It's a bit steady. Actually, it's super steady. What am I playing there? 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So I guess I'm playing 8 notes there, and constant 8 notes. Though I'm playing a little bit with harmony there. I'm not really sticking to a key there. I'm starting off with playing both the minor third and the major third. So definitely not the Phrygian dominant thing I was talking about. But that kind of thing sort of leads us into the chorus, which is, I wanted something that was simple, harmonically speaking. I'm not really good at figuring out chord harmonies, so I think of melodies, or I think of super standard chord stuff. So this is super standard because I'm basically playing a 1, 4, 5. You know, the E, A, B. That's what I'm playing in a way, because I'm starting with E. That's just E. Going to the G note there. So I guess we could say I have the first and then I have a third chord. But that G note is sort of passing. The main thing is E here. And then I'm going up to A here. And then to B. So in a way we have E, A, and B, which is your typical blues thing, right? Though it doesn't sound bluesy because I'm throwing in a whole bunch of other notes, and I'm throwing in the minor 6th, which I like. It's the C note if we're in E minor, and we are in E minor. So I was hearing something like this in my head. And then something that goes over to... So, I was hearing E, and then A, B. So, I'm really simplifying it here, but that's the basic idea. And I think it's a good way to look at things, because I've never really enjoyed listening to complex songs. I like when there's a bit of shred thrown in, but I don't really like when the harmony is complex. And I think a lot of pop songs are, a lot, or I like pop songs, and I like the metal songs, which have like a pop attitude towards them, where you can hear that the harmonies are simple, and it's not like a jazzy thing. So I like simple harmonies, and I'm just playing that thing, which is E, and then going over to the next part, which features the A and the B chords, sort of. So ba ba ba, E, C, B. So, and there's a bit of shred going on there, so I'm playing something like... And then... Some more shred there. We're going back to the E idea, so... But here we're adding some licks, so... Play that up to tempo. I'm actually throwing in some hybrid picking in the middle of that riffing, just because that's the only way for me to nail it. So if you look at me up to tempo, so let's zoom in on those faster passages so you can check them out. So we do... First one was this. And then we have this one. last part of the riff or something. Okay, so that was a quick explanation. I don't know if you got anything of that. I just wanted to run through it, and maybe we can get some questions going so I can sort of better understand how I can aim these little mini tutorials and see, so they can basically become helpful for you, because I'm doubting this one is. But that's the thought process behind this little thing. I was just to start with those ideas of contrast and throw in some licks and work on my chops, and I also threw in some kind of melody on it just to make it a bit more, listenable. Yeah, I recorded it with a Kemper Profiler amp, and I used I think all 3 profiles. Yeah, profiles from the rig, the rig manager, or the what's it called? The rig exchange. Yeah, and this is the rhythm. It's a Synmix profile called the Beast SM57. You can find it there on the rig exchange. And the bass, as for bass profile, I also used like Synmix shared on the forums, like a free package of direct profiles for bass, and it worked nicely. The B7K. I think it's a profile of like a direct input pedal for recording bass. And the lead was a profile called Manu Lead, which I think is by the Kemper team themselves. So 3 profiles there, and yeah, and I recorded that, and I used the Logic's drummer to sort of help me figure out the beats, because I suck at drum programming. And so basically I recorded the riffs to a metronome, and then I turned on the virtual drummer in Logic Pro and had it sort of help me, lay a drum foundation. I tweaked it a little bit, and my goal was to tweak it a whole lot more. But as I listened to it, I got used to those drum beats, and as I worked on the track, I worked on the bass and worked on everything. And then at the end of it, when I started changing the drums, it was like, no, I don't want to change the drums because I've gotten used to this. So next time I'll probably do it in the other way around. I'll probably make sure I'm happy with the drums from the beginning, so I don't get used to those sucky drums. But anyway, and so I used the Logic drummer, and I didn't really do any MIDI programming at all. It's like a virtual drummer, and you just change some parameters, and you're good to go. Yeah, and that's it. Please ask me if you got any questions, and also be sure to follow me on Facebook, where I'll announce the coming video streams, live streams. I haven't done a lot this week because I've gotten yet another man flu. I have kids, and they're at daycare, and they bring home new gifts every week in the shape of new diseases. So I barely got rid of my old man flu. Now I got a new one, but this one is getting better, so there's hope for life. So hopefully I'll see you soon. Thanks so much for watching. See you.
Goodbye, fellow kickers.